So the systematic risk of the portfolio is simply a evaluated average of the systematic risk of the portfolio members. There's no reduction through diversification, so it's just a weighted average. And so the beta of the portfolio is simply a weighted average, and the weights for each asset is simply the value of the holdings of each of those assets. So how many shares or how many units do you have times the price per share unit captures the value of the holding for that particular asset. Add that up for all the assets in the portfolio to get the total value of the portfolio, and you can get a weight, and you weight each beta in the portfolio. So this way the beta of the portfolio gets affected by the individual betas of the members, as well as how much of the portfolio is held in each of the different assets. So Billy Brown has 4 stocks in her portfolio. She's got Microsoft, GE, Intel, and the New York Times. And you can see she has 10,000 in Microsoft, 15 in GE and Intel, and 10,000 in the New York Times. And they all have different betas. Microsoft's at 0.8, GE's at 0.72, New York Times is at 0.88. So those three are below average because they're less than 1. And Intel at 1.66 is above average because it's greater than 1. And so the question is, what is the beta of her portfolio? Well, her whole portfolio, she's got 10 in Microsoft, 15 in GE, 15 in Intel, 10 in New York Times. So she has a total value of her portfolio of $50,000. What is the beta of her $50,000 stock portfolio? Well, we can't simply say, oh, look, there's 4 stocks. Let's just add the 4 of those and divide by 4 and get the beta of the portfolio, because that would be giving equal weight, and that's not the case. She's got slightly less weight in Microsoft and New York Times and slightly more weight than in GE and Intel. So we need to take that into account, take a weighted average of the 4 betas. And when we do that, we can see that the beta is 1.05. 10,000 of her $50,000 portfolio is in Microsoft with a beta of 0.8. 15 of the 50 is in GE with a beta of 0.72. 15 of the 50 is in Intel at 1.66. 10 of the 50 is in New York Times at 0.88. Crunch all the numbers, and the beta is 1.05. So news comes out. Suppose it's good news. Everybody would tend to be up. Microsoft, GE, and New York Times would tend to be up less than average. Intel would tend to be up more than average, and the whole portfolio would tend to be up slightly more than average. And so we've got a portfolio with some below average, some above, and we're able to figure out exactly where the portfolio overall fits in.